Good morning, friends. Welcome to Coffee Talk. Welcome to this hangout with us on this beautiful morning. It's so beautiful we're staying inside. And we hope wherever you're at and whatever you're doing that you are, just enjoying life and getting ready for American Thanksgiving. The holidays, as they're called down south. And that there's wonderful things happening in your life. We are looking ahead and looking back, and we're Chris, you led us through a lot of announcements on Sunday, so I'm very proud of everything that we covered.
I felt like a cruise director. Can I just say this? I felt like, I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise where someone stands up with a clipboard and they're like, now let me tell you what we're doing today, and then they go, and I'm just like, buckle up.
It also felt like, this is our spiel. You'll find announcements here, and here at the back, and find that and that person over there, and don't forget to buckle up.
That's great.
So we got some announcements to get to because things are good.
Tis the season.
Less than a couple days ago, but we are looking back to Daniel, which is actually coming to a close in this second half of Daniel. We're seeing a lot of things going on. We had a lot of storyline happen in the first half, and then now it's a lot of visions and explanations and dreams and trying to understand things that seem like they're beyond us. I think it was you, Jeff, that even said like the curtain of another realm or even of the heavenly realms is kind of pulled back a little bit, especially in this second half, and trying to get our little human brains around that is not easy. So thank you, Jeff, for even just jumping into it and trying to make sense of it for you and make sense of it for us. And through this we see a lot of things. We see Daniel having a vision or a dream. I don't know which is which. Both. And him just being in shock and awe, right? And where God is going to lead and teach through that, and yet you still kind of came to this beautiful conclusion at the end that we actually get to apply to our lives today, that says God is still on his throne. And that's what I do love about about some of these chapters, and the one coming this coming week as well too. Like it ends really even on that abruptly. But we won't jump ahead. Tell us again about Daniel 10 and even just some of the things that kind of maybe just to sink our teeth into.
Well, it was kind of interesting because Daniel's starts praying. And we'll find out later that God heard right away and answered right away, but he's mourning for 21 days.
Yeah, and that's where it says, like, he didn't eat, he didn't sleep, he didn't use lotions, he didn't...
Right. And it doesn't say he fasted completely, it just said he didn't eat choice foods, right? So whatever he was eating, locusts and whatever, because he was in the wilderness on the way to the Euphrates River, or the Tigris River, because that was 60 kilometers away. Somehow,
he was actually on his way, or this was a vision of him going there?
It says he was on the banks of the great river, the Tigris.
Okay.
But the Babylon is on the Euphrates. So when you look on a map and, go to MapQuest or whatever it is and map it out, it's actually 60 kilometers away to the closest place, right? So some reason he's over there, away from Babylon, and he looks up and he sees this. It's the description that could be used to describe God himself. It's some sort of heavenly being. And he's so overwhelmed that he's like, And then the angel touches him, and he gets up, and he bows down again. and then he touches his lips, and then he can speak, and he finally says, okay, I'm ready for you to tell me. It's kind of like he's strapped in, as you talked about. I'm ready for you to tell me. And then he tells him, I was delayed, and then he says, I'm going to tell you what's, and we didn't get into the actual vision because chapter 10 kind of ends, actually 11 verse 1. So next week we'll look at what he actually says, but the whole thing is his interaction with this angel and this peek into the heavenly realms, like you said, the curtains pulled back. We've seen this again and again. God is in control, he's on the throne, he's doing something, but now he's a little bit, how? Like, there's a prince of Persia. So there's a representative in the heavenly realm of this nation of Persia. There's a prince of Greece, the up and coming, they don't even know about Greece yet. he hasn't come in and conquered, but there's a prince that's going to be, and then he talks about Prince Michael, who is the prince of the Israelites. So
Right.
it's like,
Which is a whole other thing.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think we have time to get into it, but that's actually an interesting thought or concept. I've heard of
Yeah.
Michael the Archangel,
yeah.
but this is the first time we hear or see something
And,
on it.
and, I'd have to go back too, and, this might be partly why we get that.
Right.
Because Michael isn't named as much as Gabriel, but,
Right.
but Michael, is, the one that came to help. Who knows why he wasn't there already, but he came to help Gabriel, some commentators say that the angel that Daniel is talking to could be Gabriel, because that's the one he's been talking to.
Yeah.
But it's not named here. So whoever that is was trying to get the message to Daniel, but he was delayed by the Prince of Persia.
Yeah, didn't you say how
so
I was
yeah.
off doing things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So then Michael comes and helps, and then he's able to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's this peek into this, and it doesn't tell us much, and so we can't, we best not
Yeah.
extrapolate and say, oh, so there,
Yeah.
and this, the Prince of United States and the Prince of this, who knows? What we do know is what it does reveal, that there is more that meets the eye, that there's some sort
Yeah.
of parallel, what happens here affects there, and vice versa. And one commentator, I love how he said, we're told to put on the armor and pray to God, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that's our job, right? But it gives us a peek, it's
Yeah.
really kind of cool.
And I'm still just shocked at the amount that's there that we only get to see these little
Yeah.
glimpses of. Because if we were to fully see it, we would be like, so even I think
Yeah,
of
like Daniel.
I think of kind of a couple of different instances where before we actually tell somebody like this big giant thing, we're like, okay, are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Are you sitting?
It's
Are you ready
true.
for this?
It's
right?
true. Yeah.
Like, how often does somebody need to say, okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go have a snack. I need you to just rest for a little bit. Come back, and I'm actually going to tell you something unbelievable, something that will blow your mind to the point where like you'll faint and you'll be overcome with that. And it actually reminds me also of Job, where God says to Job, "Are you ready?
Yeah.
Brace yourself.
Exactly.
Here I come,
Yeah.
because I'm actually going to tell you,
Yeah.
now that you've, spewed for 38 chapters,
Yeah.
here's how it is, right?" And so
Yeah.
I kind of see some parallels there.
Yeah.
But, okay,
Yeah.
so we have these are future things that Daniel is seeing possibly, or maybe, but either way, we're still encouraged in the end to say, God is on his throne, God is in control, we pray to him, and even that he has a better understanding in those heavenly realms than we ever, right?
Yeah. There's way more than we realize, but God is way bigger than we realize, right? He's got it under control. And I mean, the question that we kind of wrestled with, which came up in a couple chapters before, is what do we do with our worry and our anxiety? What do we do with, that's the second half of the sermon really, was about how does this help us? Because I can know that some of my suffering is going to end, but I'm in it right now.
Right.
What do I do with that, right? And I think what as I wrestled with that question was, well, what did Daniel do with it? Because Daniel lived 70 years. His whole life in exile, right? I mean, most of his whole life. He probably came over when he was a teenager, and it doesn't seem like he went back, because God said, get back to work where you are, So what did he do with it? He prayed 3 times a day, He praised God. When God gave him answers, he praised God, right? He developed this relationship with God. He went to his friends for help, and he served. He served the king. He served this king he knew, because he's been told in these visions that it's Babylon was going to be destroyed, taken over. Then Persia, that's going to be taken over too. He saw that in Daniel 8. But he kept serving. He kept trusting that the work God had for him in this moment meant more than what it felt like in that moment, right? And so for me, I was like, that was really encouraging, like, okay, whatever I'm struggling through, there's something bigger, and I keep bringing it to him, and I keep asking him, God, help me with my unbelief, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and help me to be faithful even though I don't understand why, you know? I don't know, that was helpful for me. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's what you guys have to add to that or whatever, resonate with or not. I feel like you've been going, like you've had stuff to say, but I don't know.
So I think you made a little point in there, and I think we've given too much time to this already. Because I think like we jump into the details, and they don't matter to us. It was a vision for Daniel, but what matters to us is Daniel's response.
Right.
Because he's the example to follow. I don't think that a misappropriation of this text would be to pray, God, you know, help me like Daniel got to see this, show me this, or whatever. It's like, no, Daniel had to wait, so how am I going to wait? Daniel was faithful in prayer, so how am I going to be faithful in prayer? And the rest of it, we just kind of go, there's more going on. Great.
Yep.
Yeah,
Moving on.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, God, if you want me to know more, then
That's right.
help me. But yeah, I'm going to trust you.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenge. I mean, faith is a challenge. Read Hebrews 11.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a challenge, but that's what we continue to be called to. And I think the honesty with how hard it is, and the coming back to God and saying, "Help my unbelief." You know, that's a valid prayer. That's Mark 9, the man who his child was, you know, basically possessed by a demon, was saying, I believe you can do it, but help my unbelief, you know, and I think we can pray that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to know that God has perfect timing for all of these things. You know,
Yeah.
James, beginning of James talks about suffering that we are going to be facing. It's not an if, it's a when. And
Yeah.
so be prepared. And in that, rely on God through that. Even when you're in the middle of it and saying, God, I see that there's an end, but I want to get there.
Yeah.
Could we just hurry things along?
Right.
Right? And
Yeah.
there's purpose in his plan.
And I think it's just good to make a side note that if you choose not to trust, doesn't mean you're not going to suffer, right? You may be able to try to enter it differently, but you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
And to me, choosing to trust someone who knows what they're doing in the suffering, rather than myself who would flounder in it and probably stay much longer than I need to, I want to choose that way, you know? Yeah.
So that's the beginning of 10, but we kind of are finishing 10 and starting into 11.
Well, we'll start right into 11. Yeah, because that was kind of 10 that was introing the whole thing that he's going to go through in 11 and 12, but we will finish 11 and 12. So long, but we'll do that on Sunday.
My encouragement to all of us is hold on
Yes.
wait for the very last verse of Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel chapter
Yes.
12, very last verse. It's all worth it.
Yeah.
Can I hold you to that?
Yeah.
Because so far, the biggest thing I've got out of our conversation is this thing called MapQuest.
Yeah.
Jeff
You
apparently
didn't
still
see
uses
what happened over there,
MapQuest.
but I saw it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't even know that was
the thing
still
that
an
popped to
active
mind.
and valid thing.
I
No,
didn't even
that's
go to
fine.
MapQuest. I didn't even go there. It was Google Maps, yep.
But you
yep.
said MapQuest.
For some reason, that
and
popped in my head.
That is fine.
Are you saying that I'm revealing my age? Is that what
No.
you're saying? Thank you very much.
I'm saying there's maybe other tools out
Yeah,
there in the
there is.
toolbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're using MapQuest, you can log on to the World Wide Web, and you can go to lhbchurch.com.
I think the kids are calling it the interwebs these days.
And you can connect with us there. There's you can connect with
Yep.
either our emails or contact the church office directly from there, or even just getting information about what's happening around us. And even on that first homepage, you'll actually see, okay, here's some quick links. But then there's another section that actually has a lot of our community updates. And so, here's what's happening in and around Lakeview these days. And so you can click on community updates, and it'll take you right to our it's an email that goes out every week, but it will let you know a lot of the things that we announce every week. And so, here we go. Here's the big list. It's not that big of a list. This Sunday, November 16th, is the last day that the last Sunday that we are gathering shoeboxes, Christmas shoeboxes.
That's right.
And so, if you could be bringing them to the church before then, that would be great. And then we'll have an opportunity to kind of just recognize that, and then just be able to see what God is going to do in amazing ways. And I think very much it's about that person receiving that gift. And in a lot of ways, it's about me actually submitting to that gift giving as well too, and to be reminded of that. So hopefully you are continually blessed by the way that you are able to give to people, either in shoeboxes or in a lot of other ways that God is encouraging you in. So that's one way. Second thing is that same Sunday, this Sunday the 16th, right after the service, we are going to have a soup and bun. And so we have lots of soups being brought, and we are encouraging you to just stay and hang out. And if you haven't brought anything, great, come and enjoy and sit down and fellowship with each other. If there's one or two other people that are willing to help in the kitchen, please contact me in the next couple days once you get to this. But thank you for all those people who do continue to bring soup. Chris, there's something happening the week after, a couple days after.
There's several somethings. So on the Tuesday, the 18th, we are having Westside United, which is a youth event where we bring together the youth groups of West Kelowna. We're going to be here this time. We've done a number of these before, and they've always been at Emmanuel. This time we're doing it here, and it's going to be more worship focused. We're going to have youth and youth leaders leading worship. There'll be some other activities, but that's the primary focus of that night. But it'll be here, 6:45, and so come and bring friends and worship with other youth from around the West Side, and it's going to be a great night.
Yeah.
And then the Friday night, the 21st, we have our Friday Kids event that we do kind of, 3 times a year. Also in this room, but we're gonna clear things out. We're gonna have a bunch of games. We're gonna have a Bible lesson with them, and just a night of fun and connection, and with some thought of spiritual development as well. So that'll be 6:30 on Friday the 21st for grades 3 to 6.
Awesome.
And then 1 week later is the women's From the Cradle to the Cross event in here as well. And so I think November 23rd, the Sunday before, is the last day to sign up. But get signed up right away, because I'm getting notified all the time. Every day more people are coming. So you want to make sure you get your seat, buy your ticket, and you can do that online at the QR code here. It's going to be a great time.
Or you can come into the church office, say hello to our new admin person, Roma, and you can buy your ticket and sign up here at the church office as well too. Other than that, we encourage you to charge ahead with us to the end of Daniel and to see what God is going to be teaching you through this next Christmas season, and blessings on you.